Welcome to 31 Days of October, week 4, new backdrop. What is up, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of October, week 4. This month has been complete and utter hell for me. And it couldn't have happened at the worst time because it's October. But if you remember earlier, I said I'm still gonna pull off 31 Days of October, so I pre-recorded weeks 1 through 3. What you see behind me is my Halloween-inspired backdrop. I am, for the first time, recording in my new house in Florida. This is really cool. Big day, people. So this is not gonna be my permanent backdrop. That's still a work in progress, but I figured I'd throw something together that's, you know, really Halloween-inspired. Got the lights behind me. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. But I got some great guests today, 4 of them to be exact. I have Ashley and George from Talk Movies with us, their first time on 31 Days. My good friend Durant Cinema, who is a birthday boy this month. Also a good friend of mine, FilmFan. And then lastly, I have my good friends who I've been friends with ever since I started my YouTube channel, the Horror Addicts. I've done so many collaborations with them. So happy to have them back for this year. They've been with 31 Days since the beginning. So anyway, we have a jam-packed show for you. Not gonna waste any time. First off, we're gonna start with newcomers to 31 Days Talk Movies with us. Their channel is just skyrocketing. And if you watch their videos, you can tell why. They know what they're doing, great production value, and a lot of interesting content on their channel. They do movie reviews, they do new release unboxings, you name it, they do it. But they love horror, so I could not help but ask them to please be a part of this. So anyway, take it away, Ashley and George.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Talk Movies with us. I'm George, and
I'm Ashley.
And this is a channel on basically all kinds of movie reviews and all kinds of Blu-ray collection, Funko Pop collection stuff, right?
Yep, we do a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. And first and foremost, we want to thank our pal Lee for including us in this awesome 31 Days of October collab, right? It's our first collab with him, and you know, we'd love to do some more down the road. But yeah, we were super psyched when he messaged us to be a part of this. You know, he's everything horror. He's like the godfather of horror reviews.
I would say
when it comes to YouTube, and we just want to give him a big thanks.
And we're super excited to talk about the horror movies that we've been watching. So we're just gonna
jump right into it. We got a nice stack of stuff to talk about. So you want to start this thing off?
Sure, I will start it off. Recently, I have been rewatching the Chucky movies. So I did watch Child's Play, which we do have the Scream Factory for. And then we did purchase the Chucky collection. So I watched Child's Play 2 and 3 from here. Now, if you don't know what Child's Play is about, basically it's about a killer doll. But the doll is actually possessed by a serial killer. So there's this little kid and he wants this toy, the good guy, for his birthday, and his mom gets him one, and then the doll just goes on a killing spree.
Things go terribly, terribly wrong.
So Child's Play and Child's Play 2 are actually really good. It was really hard for me to get through Child's Play 3 just because the kid is actually a little bit older. He's at military school. It kind of just like lost me there, so.
But don't worry, up next we got Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, right? So it just get better and better. So,
oh, yes. But at least with Bride of Chucky, we get introduced to Tiffany and all that.
Then it goes down that comedy route a little bit.
Yeah.
A little comedic. All right, I'll start mine off with Frozen. Yes, Frozen, not the Disney Frozen, not Let It Go Frozen.
Not Idina Menzel?
No, but this is a movie that, I always say this, what Jaws does for the ocean and going swimming, this does for skiing or snowboarding or anything that has to do with a ski lift, right?
Yeah, I'm never a fan of those anyway.
I mean, I love skiing, you know, I don't go as much as I would like to, but this is a film that basically, you know, they're enjoying the day skiing, and you know, you want to go one more run, one more, let's go one more before we go home. Of course,
it's always that last run.
And the park is about to close. They're the only ones pretty much left in the damn place. So they go on to the ski lift.
And then that's where it begins.
And power goes out, you know, in the middle of the middle of a mountain, and down below are some hungry wolves. And it's
little puppies?
Nah, not cute puppies, but it's another one of those movies where it's like, what would you do? You know, would you try to risk jumping down to safety? Would you scream on the top of your lungs for hours on end? And here's the kicker, right? You can't wait for just let's hold out for the night and wait for tomorrow for the ski lift to open. No, this is a ski resort that closes down for the whole weekend. And of course they go on a Friday. I don't know.
That's so strange.
Yeah, it sounds cheesier than it is, but because this is directed by Adam Green, the director of the Hatchet movies, and it's so enjoyable. The gore effects. I mean, you sit there watching this thing, you're literally freezing your ass off while you're watching it. It's an awesome little ride, and really, you want to stay away from skiing. All right, what's up next?
All right, so next we have a very, very classic movie, and that would be Chud.
Oh boy.
Which stands for Cannibalistic, Humanoid, Underground Dwellers. I totally forgot Dwellers.
You did that in one take, and I'm impressed. That's good.
I did pretty good. So basically Chud is about these creatures that live in the sewers of New York City, and the homeless people that live in the sewers and whatnot, they start going missing. We have Kevin McAllister's father from Home Alone, and then we also have Marv from Home Alone. So basically you could just say that this is a Home Alone prequel.
If you reach a little bit, you will find this is a Home Alone prequel, yes.
Yes. So they end up working together. They're trying to figure out where these creatures are coming from. And this movie is a super cheesy B-horror movie. But let me tell you that I had a lot of fun with this one. And I'm excited to watch this sequel.
Yes.
Even though I heard it has nothing to do with this one.
I mean, the sequel's got one of the best titles of all time. It's called Chud 2, Bud the Chud or
Bud
something.
the Chud. So maybe one of the Chuds has a name.
That's money right there. Look at that.
So if you want to learn everything and anything about Chud.
All right there for you in one package.
All right, so what's up next?
What's up next? What do we got? Up next is The Devil's Candy.
Yes.
Now, who does The Devil's Candy star? Let's go back in time a little bit. Do you guys remember Rusty from Vegas Vacation?
I do.
Well, I haven't seen him in anything since, but he appears in this, and he's really jacked.
He's super jacked up. He's got an awesome wig on. He listens to metal music. He's an artist. And he becomes almost like possessed.
Possessed by this house that he recently moves into. Because he got it for a great deal. Why did he get it for a great deal?
Because there were some murders.
Some grisly murders went down in this house. But hey, it's a good price. Why the hell not, right?
I mean, I probably would buy a house.
Why not?
If it was the right price. I mean, demons, satanic stuff. Yeah, I mean, one of the things is this guy is an artist, right? He's a painter. So he needs a lot of space.
So he has his studio, and the things that this house is possessing him with is reflected onto the paintings.
Yes, and also connected to these paintings and these visions is kind of part of the past with the house. And a certain someone, which we, you know, don't really have to get into too much because you should definitely watch this movie. But, I mean, the whole cast is great. The daughter is really good. His wife is really good.
And the music, baby. Awesome. You got some Metallica in there, some Slayer.
Yes.
I mean, if you like anything rock or heavy metal like we do, we really appreciate it about this one. And
even if you aren't a fan of metal,
no.
I mean, the way that the soundtrack plays with the scenes and everything, it just sounds like a really good soundtrack in the background. So.
Really well done. You know, Devil's Candy, can't recommend it enough.
Or as Drumdums would say, we enjoyed the heck out of it.
We did. We enjoyed the hell out of this one. Up next, we got Sleepaway Camp. This October, we took the opportunities. We're gonna bang out some of these Scream Factories, and Sleepaway Camp did not disappoint one bit.
No way. I mean, this definitely has one of the biggest twists in cinematic history.
Obscure twist, yes, but what do you expect, right?
I wasn't expecting it.
So Sleepaway Camp, obviously, a bunch of kids are in camp, you know, Friday the 13th, but younger. They're now, Friday the 13th is mainly teenagers. These are younger kids.
Yeah.
And they're at this camp, and this one girl is very silent, mysterious, you don't know why, but you find out why. But overall, really, really fun, right?
It is a really fun movie, and to the people who are, you know, say it's a rip-off of Friday the 13th, I disagree.
I mean, some aspects, but not really.
Well, that's because it's, you know, I can see why they would say that, because it's kind of around the same time. It's slashers, and
I mean, some of the ways it's filmed, I could definitely see. But, you know, anything with a camp, you're automatically going to refer to Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But you want to know what? I feel like it stands alone and does a good job at that. But that ending, it's like this, the effects and the makeup are like super sketchy, and then you're looking around at the girl and her face like, you know.
But it is, but again, we watched the special features, and the way that they did it was so interesting.
It's kind of like, what the hell is going on? But
you can't stop. You can't stop watching. You can't take your eyes away. It's, you know.
I mean, this is one we finished watching, immediately put on the documentary that was on here on this one.
I was like, I need to know more about this.
And one thing about these, we talk about special features, but it definitely, you watch them, you appreciate it a little more. You know?
do, yeah.
Definitely appreciate it more. And fun fact, this girl on the cover, this main girl, whatever her name is, she liked our photo on Instagram, so we are definitely going places in the world.
Yes.
All right, up next, we got two more for you guys. Next up is The Green Inferno, directed by none other than who?
Eli Roth.
Eli Roth, right?
And I am an Eli Roth fan. He gets a lot of hate, but you know what? The man is good at what he does.
Let's talk about Green Inferno. These college kids protesting about things they don't even know about. So they go to Peru, I believe, right? Or some foreign country. They run into this cannibal tribe.
Yes, so they get kidnapped by these cannibals, and they get placed in this big cage.
Immediately regret their decision, let's put it that way.
Yes. The gore, I think, was really good.
Awesome.
It's very gory. There are definitely some scenes
where you're
that
like, I gotta look away.
Yeah.
But you can't.
The characters, they're...
This is where it gets to, you know, the main girl is pretty good, and it happens to be
Eli Roth's wife.
But the rest of the cast is pretty sketchy, you know, the acting is pretty questionable.
And, I mean, the characters, some of them are kind of annoying, actually very annoying, and there are a few scenes in this movie that completely take you out of the movie.
A couple of foolish little scenes really drag this movie down, but overall I say it's definitely worth a watch. It's entertaining as heck. So we're gonna go from Eli Roth, right? And our next film is, you know, you can pretty much say very similar things about this director.
All we have to say is Mexican Hitler midgets.
And that is Rob Zombie's 31. And we figured 31 days of horror, we got 31. I mean, is there not a perfect movie to watch, right? I'm a little bit of a bigger fan of this one than you are.
Yeah.
Some carnival, what are they called? So some carnival employees, some rodeo clowns are living in this trailer together, and they're driving to God knows where, I guess to their next clown show or whatever the heck they're doing. And they just run into this, they're trapped like a Saw type of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, we're gonna play a game of 31.
Yeah, you have a guy dressed as like George Washington.
Yeah. And there's just, you know, they're trapped in here, and basically it's, you know, you gotta kill or be killed, essentially. I will say, first and foremost, the best part about this whole movie is this main guy right here. I don't know if you could see him, it's probably blurry, but this guy in the top, he has an awesome monologue in the beginning of this.
And he's terrifying. He's actually, he plays his character very well.
And, you know, he was the coolest villain or killer out of all these guys. The rest
I would agree.
Are kind of super obscure. You got this little Mexican Hitler midget dude that's like...
That took me out of the movie
completely.
completely.
You know what you're getting with Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie is another one like Eli Roth. I feel like you kind of have a feeling this is a Rob Zombie movie. You got that signature shaky cam.
I know, it was so nauseous the first time I watched it.
Yeah, but the practical effects in this are very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a storyteller. Like,
and he has his style.
He has his style, and he's good at that style. Like,
yes.
He's really good at telling these twisted, up movie.
Like really twisted, uncomfortable twisted. And my only gripe with this is, alright, has the premise been kind of done before? Yes. But the characters are so damn unlikable.
I know.
That you're rooting for the killers to chop them up. Like,
definitely. I mean, I really, like, listen, I know it's his wife. As an actress, really annoys me.
And the acting, it's probably not the worst thing in the world. It's just,
he only picks the ugliest people he can find.
Oh,
he probably goes to these towns and he's like, you're ugly, let's go.
Yeah.
You want a job?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely has this style. You know, when he has a vision, he definitely.
I mean, much like his music. If you're familiar with his music like I am, I'm a pretty big Rob Zombie fan. I mean, I've seen him in concert a million times. I'm a fan of that metal genre, and he puts on a hell of a show. He always has the theatrics, the makeup, the blood, the gore. Even on his shows, his music is the same. So, you know, if you appreciate that, if you're a fan of Rob Zombie, you'll appreciate this. But if you do not know Rob Zombie, and if you are not a Rob Zombie fan, I would stay away from this one. Stay far, far away.
Yeah, I mean, this one's not his strongest movie. I mean, I really love Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses.
And honestly, I think the Halloween remake, the first one, I love it. I know Lee's a big fan of both of them, and especially number 2.
Strange.
But I love his take on the first Halloween. I mean, I know we're gonna get a lot of hate for that, but all right. That is 31 days of Halloween is over.
For us this week.
Yes.
I'm doing horror all month.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I guess we will wrap this thing up. Thank you again so much to Drumdums. It has been a pleasure being able to kind of work with you on this project.
And big fans of your Facebook group as well, Killer Flicks.
Killer Flicks is where we get a lot of our horror info. I mean, a lot of these people have info that we haven't found out yet.
No, I mean, that's our go-to for anything horror.
Yes.
It's an awesome thing, that group. Lee's got an awesome channel. We're just, you know, excited to be a part of this collab with you and look forward to doing many, many more.
Yeah, so, and if you did like this video, please head over to our channel and, you know, give us a subscribe if you aren't already.
And yeah, that's always cool. And, you know, thanks again, Lee, and we'll see you guys later.
See you guys later.
Next up, I have my good friend, David Durant from Durant Cinema. If you know Durant, you know the guy really goes all out on his videos. He does a lot of those Blu-ray trip videos, but his are different than everybody else's. His stand way apart from the pack because he puts so much into them. It's like a show. It really is like a show. And the part where he gets to the Best Buy, the Target, that's just really gravy. But great production value. Great friend of mine, and this is his 3rd year with 31 Days since the beginning. So anyway, take it away, Durant.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dave Durant from Durant Cinema. And first off, Lee, you're the man. Thank you for having me on here for the 3rd straight 31 Days of October. It's always a good time, so thank you, man, for having me on here once again. Now let's just jump right into the movies that I watched, and let's start with the first one. Is a doozy, and that would be Human Centipede. Yeah, that was the first one. Human freaking Centipede. What a sick, twisted, weird-ass movie. Oh my god. Guys, if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. I feel like everyone in the whole entire world has to watch it at least once. It's not for everyone, but you have to watch it at least once, because it is a doozy. It's just like these people... This guy, this weird scientist guy, this creepy experiment, he puts these 3 people, makes them a human centipede with the ass to the face and stitch them up, and it's just gross, right? It's gross, and this wasn't even my idea. I didn't even want to watch this again. It was my girlfriend's idea. She's like, let's watch it. I'm like, no. She's like, yes. I'm like, okay. It is a sick movie, like really sick. It's disturbing just to see these people connected. Like, imagine waking up and being connected to your mouth to someone's ass. That is just gross. And especially the middle person. Yeah, I'm all set on that. I'm gonna have to pass, but definitely check it out if you have the chance to. It's a very interesting movie. Alright guys, now usually I like to jump in the movies that I've never seen before. I watched The Shining and The Exorcist last year. This year, first time ever, I watched Psycho. I know guys, relax, okay, but I watched it, and I have to say, I thought the movie was just freaking awesome! I really enjoyed that movie a lot. I was surprised, actually. I heard a lot of good things, but I usually go in like, alright, let me see for myself, but I was really shocked at how good Psycho was, because it was like 2 stories, you know? You think it's gonna go one way, and then it just goes a huge different turn. Like, we see the main character and she does something really bad by stealing some money, and we think like, oh, we're gonna focus on that the whole entire time, but then it just switches it up halfway through the movie with the hotel and what's going on with there. And the kills were actually pretty creepy, especially the ending. I just like, it has that vibe to it. It just has a great setting, great atmosphere. The characters are well done. The music is terrific. It's just absolutely all blends into a blender. You put it on a blender, you hit the button, boom, and it comes out as Psycho. Fantastic film. I'm so glad I finally got to watch it and to see what all the hype was about, and I'm glad it did not let me down, and I'm actually excited to rewatch that movie again. I really enjoyed it a lot. Had a blast. Like, I really didn't think I was gonna like it that much, but I really did. I really liked the characters and how the movie was set up. Like, it works so well, because you think it's gonna focus on this main character the whole entire time, but it's just like, nope. And of course, the shower scene is the most iconic one, but there was this cop, detective, going up the stairs. I don't know, I thought that scene was also just as creepy as well. But yeah, I really had a blast with the Psycho film. And also another movie that I watched for the first time was The Hatchet. The first one, where I got in a horror pack, the third movie, so I was like, you know what, I need to jump on this series right now. And I did with the first one. I thought it was okay. It was a mixed bag, because at first, right away, the intro, you can definitely tell what you're getting yourself into. In my mind, I thought it was gonna take like a serious dark route, but it's got that like campy, fun, like just crazy, just doesn't care. And it's got the guy from Dodgeball as your main lead. You know what this movie is gonna be about. But yeah, the characters were just not well developed, but who cares about that? All you want are the kills, and boy, did they deliver. About an hour into the movie though. It took a while, but the kills were well worth it. Especially the first one with the old couple, oh my god. You're just like, bleh. What the fuck? Actually, the practical effects were really good. I was like, wow, that was actually well done. But yeah, no, I thought just the characters were kind of annoying. They're all over the place. You couldn't take them seriously, didn't care about anyone. But you love the kills. It was a good time. It was fun. Definitely gonna check out the other two, see if it gets better. I'm not too sure. I know a lot of people love this movie. I thought it was just okay. But I thought the kills and the hatchet guy, I thought he was kind of creepy as well. He would just pop out of nowhere and just destroy you with this freaking hatchet. Bam! Now the next series that I jump into was Sleepaway Camp 1 and 2. The first one I actually thought was excellent. It was a whole mystery. It was like Friday the 13th. It was a mysterious killer on the loose. You had no idea. You had all these kids. You got mean ones, nice ones. Angela, I believe her name was. She was the quiet one. At first, at times, you're like, oh, it's definitely her. But then other people would show up. You're like, oh my god, I think it's them. And they're just confused the freaking crap out of you. But I love stuff like this. I love mystery murders and how people are killed, and it's a good time. It's definitely cheesy as all hell, but I loved it though. I thought it was great, especially the ending. I just did not see that coming whatsoever, and just the way it just went 1 to 100, just like that. All of a sudden, you just see this person, you're just like, ah, and that was very unsettling, I think, with the noise and the image all together. It just felt uncomfortable. I didn't like it, and actually I loved it because of that. How chilly it, gave me a I need to breathe, Lee. I need to breathe. But yeah, I thought that was excellent. That's what stuck out in my mind after watching this movie. I was like, that was so weird, but I enjoyed it though at the same time. The twist and who did it, I thought that was pretty cool. Now as far as the second one goes, it was completely different because right away, you just know who the killer is. It's obvious. It's right in the intro, it's like, bam, here I am. And I don't know, that kind of took it away at first because I thought it was going to be the same as the first one. But I don't know, I did like some of the kills and how it played out, but I was like thinking realistically, I was like, how is this person getting away with everything? Like how? That's just how I felt. I was like, there's no way this can happen. No way. But no, I have a good time here and there about this movie. It could have been better, eh? I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, overall, I'd say it was okay. Definitely the first one knocks it out of the park compared to the second one. But yeah, I haven't got to the third one, which I will most likely do. Alright guys, the last movie I want to talk about is Cult of Chucky. Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? Ah, Chucky. I love Chucky. I think Chucky is fantastic. But as far as Cult of Chucky though, it kind of let me down. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was very disappointed with Cult of Chucky. I thought it was gonna be better from the trailer. I thought it was gonna be intense, gruesome. It just didn't all add up to me. Everything, because I'm a huge fan of the first two. I love what they did with the first two. I thought the first one is the best. The second one has the best ending ever in the series. And the rest of them kind of just okay. But this one, I had high expectations because I saw the trailer, I was pumped up. And after watching it, I was like, ugh, especially with right in the beginning, I thought that just the acting alone, I could just tell. And the visuals, I was like, this is not gonna go well. And I even rewatched the film, just to be like, Dave, am I missing something? Are you sure? I just think the characters are just not likable whatsoever. They're just all over the place. I couldn't connect with anyone. I didn't care what was happening. Chucky I liked. I thought they could have just utilized Chucky, and the things that happened before didn't add up. Like the ending, it just, bam, that's just gonna happen. If you guys have seen it, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. I thought I was just very confused on that. I was like, so that's how it's gonna play out, which I was just disappointed with. I thought they could have really nailed it out of the park, and it just didn't. Why, Chucky? Why did you let me down? Fuck you. Whoa, bro. But yeah, as far as the film, I was just okay, man. I was just okay. But alright guys, that was all the movies that I watched in the past week or two. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Lee, thanks you once a man again. Thank you once a man. What am I saying? Thank you once a man? Alright guys, those are the movies that I watched in the past week or two. Once again, man, Lee, thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it, man. And I can't wait for next year to be doing this. So thank you so very much, and hope you guys have a great Halloween, and see you later.
Next up, one of my good friends who happens to be a really young YouTuber, but very talented, loves all types of movies, and of course he loves horror movies, and he asked me if he could be a part of this. He was a part of this last year, of course. So, FilmFan, tell us what you watched.
Hey, what's up you guys? FilmFan 0599 here again. I would like to thank my good buddy Drumdums for letting me come on 30 days of October with him for week 4. And you know, I was on last year, had a really fun time doing that video last year, and now I'm back again this year to do it again. So I saw a total of 5 movies this last week, so let's get into them with the first movie, and that was The Final Girls. The Final Girls is a movie that I've heard a lot about. You know, came out all the way back in 2015, 2 years ago. I've heard that it's really funny, really enjoyable, so I finally watched it, and I wasn't impressed, really, to be completely honest with you. I really wasn't impressed with the film. I thought a lot of the humor was just very forced and very just obnoxious, honestly. I thought the movie was just obnoxious. Like, seriously, like, they were trying so hard to be funny. Like, look at how meta we are. Look at how, you know, we're just making fun of all these, like, slasher movies and stuff. Friday the 13th being the obvious main target of it. And I just wasn't enjoying it, honestly. I thought a lot of the characters were unlikable. I didn't care for them. A lot of the acting is really terrible. Like, the writing is just completely awful. I knew what they were going for, but it just wasn't done in a clever way. They were trying to do it like, say, like Scream or The Cabin in the Woods, but it just doesn't work for this movie. It just really didn't. And I didn't, you know, enjoy it all that much, to be honest with you. I thought it was pretty bad. Besides one scene that I thought was really funny, it like involves a car, and it was just flat out hilarious. I actually thought they did a funny job of, you know, doing that. And, you know, I did somewhat care about the mother-daughter relationship between Melon Ackerman and Temessa Farmiga. I thought they were the only two characters I cared about in the movie as well. So, yeah, there were some things I did like about it, but overall, just as a film, it just didn't work. As a horror comedy, it was just kind of terrible, honestly. I didn't really enjoy it. Now, the next movie I saw was Stage Fright. Clever title, by the way. Stage Fright is another kind of horror comedy. Three out of the 5 of these are actually horror comedies, but this one is like a horror comedy musical in a way, and it's really, really genius the way that they do it. It's actually really enjoyable. I found myself really having a fun time with it. I thought the mystery was really intriguing. Like, I thought it was very good. Like, the musical numbers are actually really funny, and like, just the opening to this movie is just like, it's glorious. I love it so much. Like, it's so fantastic. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. Had some really good characters to it. Like, the acting was surprisingly really good. Like, Meatloaf, the legend himself, was in this. Like, you just gotta see it just for Meatloaf alone, because he is a legend and everything. I thought, you know, he did a good job. You know, the lead actress was really solid. So, yeah, the comedy was really good. Like, there's really some points where I was really laughing at it because it was genuinely funny. And the horror element's really good, too. So, yeah, and also it's very well shot, and the cinematography is actually not too bad with the film either. So, yeah, the Stage Fright is actually really solid. I really like it a lot, and it's definitely a movie that you all should check out. If you like clever, like, horror comedies, you should definitely check this out. It's also got a musical element to it, which actually surprisingly very much works with it. So yeah, Stage Fright, very solid film. Next movie I saw was the original Child's Play. This was a rewatch. You know, I've been in kind of a mood since, with my good friend 22 Tiger Dude, I am reviewing Bride, Seed, and Curse with him on his channel. So, I just wanted to kind of, I've been in the Chucky mood ever since then, so I decided to go back and watch the original film, and, you know, it's still great. I still love Child's Play a lot. It's still a genuinely terrifying movie. Sure, there are some silly moments that happen here and there in the movie, absolutely, but the first one's really genuinely terrifying. Like, there's some really creepy moments to it, you know, and what makes it really creepy is because this is a child's play thing. This is a doll. Like, that's what makes this creepy. Like, it's a doll. It's a thing that, you know, kids have all the time. It's terrifying. Like, this thing is like the devil put in, like, the devil was put into a doll. Like, it's like that, honestly, and it's great. Like, Brad Dourif does a really fantastic job as the voice of Chucky. He does really solid. Like, I really enjoyed him a lot. Alex Vincent isn't too bad as Andy. I really like him as Andy in the movie. The mother's really great, too. So, yeah, the movie has some really good acting, some really great suspenseful moments that keep me on the edge of my seat and waiting to see what happens next. It's really great. It's still a horror film that I still think holds up still to this day. Almost, what, 30 years later, because this came out in 1988. So, basically, almost 30 years later, still holds up. I love it so much. Child's Play is still a fantastic movie. Next movie I saw was The Babysitter. The Babysitter, most recent film on this, you know, thingamajig. And, you know, The Babysitter, I didn't really know what to expect going into it, you know, except for the fact that I knew it was directed by Mick G. That's the only thing I knew about, and it was a Netflix original film. That's the only thing I knew about going into it, and it was alright. Like, I didn't necessarily hate the movie, but it's fine. It's okay. Like, I will say this. For, like, the first half of the film, I was really, like, enjoying it. Like, I was like, this is pretty fun. I'm actually quite enjoying this. But once the certain something, once the, I guess, the tables turn and the twist, I guess you could call it, really, if you've never seen the trailers, it's kind of unexpected and kind of just takes a turn. That's when really the movie kind of just gets boring and just isn't that interesting anymore. And I really didn't find it that funny for the most part, honestly. The humor was very 50-50 to me. Like, there was points where I was laughing, and then there was some other points where I just thought it could have done better. Oh, I mean, and I feel like the movie was trying way too hard. That's the main problem with this film, is that it was trying way too hard to be self-aware and be funny and all that. And That's just the biggest problem with the film. And plus, it kind of gets kind of over the top with its violence too much at times. Like, I really do think so. Like, I was like, okay, you can tone it down just a bit. You're getting way too over the top now. And I get it, they were self-aware of that, but that's not an excuse for it to, you know, just not be good. It just wasn't handled right, I feel like. And they definitely could have done a much better job, but overall, I thought it was just kind of a forgettable movie, and I didn't really enjoy it all that much. I know some people have really enjoyed this movie. Hell, you know, the guy I'm making this video for, you know, Drumdums, he loved the thing. So, you know, I can understand why people like it so much, but it's just, it didn't work for me. I just felt like it was just kind of overdoing it, and just was kind of, just came off as forgettable to me, honestly. I didn't really enjoy it all that much. So yeah, The Babysitter, kind of forgettable. Now, the last movie I saw was the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. Now, I know Texas Chainsaw has gone through some up and downs in its earlier years and in its later years. But the Texas Chainsaw, this, I guess you could say first remake, I guess, of it, was really good. I really still generally like this remake a lot. I still think it's a very solid remake. You know, the acting's pretty solid, you know, the movie is very chilling as well. Like, it's actually legitimately scary, and they do a good job of tributing to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sure, I don't think it's as great as the original, but it is a very solid remake. Like, I do feel like it is bone-chilling, it is scary. Like, like, the Leatherface character is still great in this. I really like that a lot. It's a very solid remake that I think really gets overlooked a lot. I feel like not a lot of people really appreciate it that much. I think it's a very solid remake and one of the better horror remakes, if you ask me, of course. So those were the 5 movies I saw this week, and hopefully you enjoyed my part of the video. And yeah, you can subscribe to me, FilmFan0599, and yeah, thank you, Drumdums, for having me on once again this year for 31 days of October. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video, and yeah, I'll kick it back over to Drumdums, and we will see you all later. Peace.
And lastly, I have my good friends, the Horror Addicts, Haley and Dan Knighton. They are such good friends of mine. I've done commentaries with them. We've done collaborations together. I've had them on my channel. I've been on their channel. And we're just great friends. And they live and breathe horror. If you want a channel that is just 100% dyed-in-the-wool horror, and you want some of those deep cuts, those movies that you've never even dared hear of, definitely go check out the Horror Addicts. They have a vast knowledge of horror, and you will not be disappointed. So, enjoy the video. Take it away, Horror Addicts.
Hey, Drumdums! I'm Gory B Movie.
And I'm Oz.
And we're Horror Addicts. And this week we watched some spooky movies.
The Invisible Man.
What did we think of The Invisible Man? Yeah, it wasn't our favorite. And we do love old Universal monster movies, but this one was a little slow for us.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning's great. The end,
And it was a little unintentionally funny.
I mean, they're death faces.
We also watched The Fly, and that one was good. We're talking about the 1958 version with Vincent Price in it.
Yeah.
That one's a lot of fun, and if you haven't seen it yet, you definitely need to.
It was a buzzing good movie.
Danny and I also went and saw Happy Death Day for our 5-year wedding anniversary, and it was awesome. Loads of fun, very funny. And last night we watched The Babysitter on Netflix. So that movie's really awesome. If you like your retro throwback 80s horror movies with a bit of fun and comedy, you're gonna love that one. Also, tons of blood and gore. Danny and I also watched Cult of Chucky, and it wasn't as good as I hoped it was going to be, but it was pretty funny. There were some pretty decent kills in it, and I mean, it's Chucky, so you gotta love it, even if it's not the best film in the franchise.
That's it for us.
We hope you guys have an awesome October, an amazing Halloween, and if you want more horror reviews, we're reviewing horror movies every day over on our channel for Shocktober, so check us out over on Horror Addicts. Bye!
All right, thank you, Horror Addicts. Thank you to all my guests. Now we're gonna talk about what I watched for this week. And really, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I didn't get a chance to watch too much, but I have watched some stuff earlier, and so I have 5 good choices that I could share with you guys. So first up, we're gonna start it off with a bang with Halloween 4. Halloween 4 is the movie that got me obsessed with the Halloween franchise. I saw it in the theater when I was 15 years old, and this movie changed my life. The ending scared the crap out of me. I had nightmares about Myers for a good 3-4 years after. Seriously, like could not sleep, you know, horrible nightmares. And I am gonna be doing Halloween 4 Revisited real soon, so I wanted to give this one another watch. And so look for that. I'm gonna try to get it out on the weekend of Halloween. Next up, I did a Sean Byrne classic, The Devil's Candy. This just came out this year. This movie is still in my top 5 best movies of the year. And if you haven't seen this movie, you need to watch it because you'll understand why. Now, if you're a metalhead, that's just extra frosting because this movie is made for metal fans, but it's also a really effective horror film. One of the most intense films I've seen this year. But really the main villain in this movie is Satan, and his candy is children. And he's on the hunt for this girl. Her father is Ethan Embry. Ethan Embry does such a fantastic job in this movie. And of course, the young female lead. Amazing job. Definitely check out The Devil's Candy. Next up, I threw in an old classic. One of the best sequels, I think, out of all of horror, and that is Psycho 2. And it's really interesting that this movie came out 22 years after the original classic. And most of the time, you're asking for trouble when you do that, but this movie delivered, and it didn't copy the original. It's really an interesting premise because this is really what happens after somebody that's been in jail for 22 years is released. And how does society accept them? How do they fit in? And that plays a big part into this movie because some of the victims from the first movie, they're not having it. They don't want Norman Bates out, so they take it into their own hands to try to kind of sabotage without going into any spoilers. But if you've never seen Psycho 2, I highly suggest checking it out. As a matter of fact, I saw Psycho 2 before I even saw the first Psycho. Next up, I was in a massive Halloween mood. I watched Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is one of those movies I watch annually, every year. I think the original Halloween and Halloween 3 and the anthology Trick or Treat, those 3 movies are must-watches for October because they're all just perfect. They're very different from each other. And Halloween 3 is just one of those movies that's just crazy. That you got this old guy and he is just hell-bent on killing everybody and there's no real reason for it. It's just insanity. And I love movies where the main villain is just a complete and batshit crazy head. I guess like the original Halloween. Myers didn't really have a reason. And I'm excited that they're gonna pick up with that storyline in the new Halloween movie that comes out next year. Can you believe we're gonna see Myers on the big screen again? If you've never seen Myers on the big screen, you are in for a treat. And lastly, for this week 4, I watched the remake of Carrie. I think Carrie, the remake, is one of the better remakes to come out in probably ever. Remakes are a mixed bag, and most of them are not really good. And if they are decent, they're still kind of worthless. Like, why are you even there? Because I could watch the original, and that is a far better movie. But Carrie, the remake, I think it's so different than the original in tone. The story's the same, but everything else around the story, I think, is just a different version of the original. Plus, the first one was directed by Brian De Palma, who has such a signature style. Whereas this new one, it feels more modern, but I think Chloe Grace Moretz does such a great job. But the real star here to me is Julianne Moore, who plays the mother. A chilling performance is given by this lady. It's Julianne Moore. She's an Academy Award-winning actress, so, you know, big bonus for this movie. So anyway, guys, that's it. That is my week 4 for 31 Days of October. Now it's your turn. Go in the comments. Tell me what you guys watched. I'm really looking forward to hearing them, and I always get a few recommendations that I've never even heard of. And also check out Killer Flicks, my Facebook group, where we talk horror all day, every day. And that's another group where I constantly get ideas that I've never heard of. And a few of them are probably gonna be in this year's 31 Days of October. Also, huge thank you to my guests this week. Talk movies with us, Durant Cinema, FilmFan, and Horror Addicts. Be sure to check out their channels. Give them a sub. You will not regret it, and you will thank me. And tell them Lee sent you. Anyway, guys, if you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.